been asked to talk a little bit about merit selection in Arizona and what it has done for the state. As Justice O'Connor mentioned, this was adopted in 1974, and as far as trial judges applies in Pima and Maricopa, and then to all of our appellate judges. But because of the relative size of Pima and Maricopa to the rest of the state, that means that about 85% of our state court judges are now selected through merit selection and retain their positions through retention elections. Merit selection, 35 years experience with it in Arizona, but it's not been a static thing. We've done a number of things, both through court rule and through constitutional amendment, that has made the system even better, I think, than the one we adopted. First, we've made it much more transparent. It used to be that the application submitted by somebody to become a merit judge was seen by the commission that selected those people to send to the governor, and by the person and by the governor. But now when applications are submitted, they're posted on the Supreme Court website, so anybody who wants to see the qualifications of those applying for a position as a judge can see it. It used to be that the meetings of the commissions were not open to the public. We have these 3 different commissions, one for Pima, one for Maricopa Superior Courts, and then for all the appellate courts. We have changed a number of things with the commissions. We've broadened their membership. There are now 10 members of the public and 5 lawyers and a member of our court chairs. The membership is required to be diverse, both in political membership and geographically. The meetings of the commissions are entirely open. Every meeting begins with an opportunity for public comment. The discussions of the commissioners are in public. The reports of the commissioners on the due diligence they do to the applicants is in public. The voting of the commissioners is in public, so people can see how they get the list that is sent to the governor. So we've made this all much more transparent. I will say, when we first looked at this, people said nobody will apply then. And I said, if people aren't willing to have their background seen, they really shouldn't be applying to be a judge. And it has not reduced the number of applicants or the quality. So that's one thing we've done. We've made it way more transparent. There is, incidentally, a bill pending in the Senate, which is not by somebody who is generally a friend of the courts, but suggesting that these hearings be on web transmission, so that we have streaming video of the. I think that's a great idea. If somebody will provide us the funding to do it, I think it would be it'd be terrific. Then the other major change to our merit selection system came in 1992, when the Constitution was amended and the Supreme Court was directed to find a way to evaluate our merit selection judges before they went for retention. And our court established, I think Stanley Feldman was on the court maybe at the time, established the Judicial Performance Review Commission. And there again, there's great public input. It evaluates all the judges. It's made up of 18 public members and 6 lawyers and 6 judges. So the public members have by far the majority on the commission. Every person who appears before one of our merit selection judges evaluates that judge. And these are the categories. Listen to these and think whether this isn't probably the way you would like to have your judges evaluated. They're evaluated on their legal ability. They're evaluated on integrity. They're evaluated on communication skills, on judicial temperament, and on their administrative performance if it's relevant. And our trial court judges are also evaluated on their settlement activity and how successful they are there. Those are the things we want in our judges, not their political views, but how well do they carry out the duties of being a judge. Now, we've looked for a lot of ways to publicize this information, and we've done it in different ways. Currently, the entire evaluation of every judge who's up for retention is published again, both through the Supreme Court's website and on a special website called azjudges.info. And anybody in the public can look to see every single rating that any of us got if we are going to be on the ballot for retention. Last time it was 97% of our voters as a whole rated our judges as a whole as being either excellent or superior. I mean, that's terrific. That means that the system is doing what it should and our judges are doing what they should. So through these changes to merit selection, I think we've actually improved the system quite a bit. What has that done for us? Well, first, it certainly has impacted the pool of people applying for a judgeship. Everybody in here who's a merit selection judge, raise your hand, would you? I see quite a number of them around. Okay. We know that the people who apply probably wouldn't apply if they had to run for election. And we add that with the satisfaction ratings from the voters, and we say this is probably a pretty good system. Because we don't come by partisan election or by contested election, it eliminates the fear that we will be influenced by those who contribute to our election. But probably the best part is that we really do, through the commissions, control the quality of the judiciary in Arizona. Those of you who follow might think that there's been a particular list that the commission sends to the governor that maybe doesn't have your favorite applicant on it. But I don't think anybody says that those who are on the list are not qualified to be judges in Arizona. And that's what we're trying to do through merit selection. For judges, it's a great advantage because it means that we're working with people who are well qualified, who are there for all the right reasons and are not there because they happen to be good at raising money or at being a politician. Are there negative effects? I think the biggest one is the fear that judges who don't run for election will become isolated. But again, if anybody really looks at our judges, I don't think our judges are isolated. They're out in the community. They're working with all different sorts of groups. And we really do encourage our judges to stay involved in community activities. The other potential negative effect, I guess, is something Sally just referred to. We don't have very much political clout. Because we don't come through the elective system, we're not likely to have been a precinct committeeman and all that sort of thing. So we really do need the help. In the end, I think that merit selection has produced a qualified bench in Arizona, one that cares about the justice system. And so in that sense, I think it has very much done over the last 35 years what we hoped it would do.